What's going on, guys? So, I'm Brandon. I'm back again for video number 2. Today I was hoping to get a nice fishing video in for you guys, but up here in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, it is 38 degrees, and yeah, usually I'm like, oh, 38 degrees, let's hit it, because sometimes they're still in there and they're a little active, but we have very heavy winds, 15 mile an hour and above, and we also have ponds half frozen, and there's no sun, so it's just bad weather in general. Usually I still get out there, but the biggest thing for me is the ponds are half frozen, and you can't really do much with that, and there's literally snow everywhere still. Hasn't completely melted. We have some spots of grass, but there's still snow on the ground, like a decent amount of it. So, didn't get a fishing video to get for you guys today. Sorry about that. I really wanted to, but we're going to try and get those back as soon as possible. But for today, instead, I want to make a video of you guys for what lures to use during which seasons. And I want to use a system that I was taught from one of my cousin who taught me how to fish, and it's something I really want to bring to you guys. So this system breaks down fishing into 6 seasons. It goes from winter, pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn, summer, and fall. Those are the 6 seasons. Now, of course, it's not like how we have regular seasons, which are 4 seasons: spring, fall, winter, summer, blah, 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 blah. Instead, we break it to 6. And there's actually certain ways you can fish each of these seasons. And for the most part, some of them are the same, and some of them are completely different. Like, it depends on color, clarity, and of course, your ponds may be different than what I'm telling you guys right now. But this is a good way to start off a pond that you don't know, and it's just a good guideline to start with, and you can always change it up later. Now, guys, keep in mind this video is made for specifically reservoirs, lakes, and ponds, and stuff like that, not streams and rivers and things of that kind of specific, if you know what I'm saying. If you guys are interested in a river stream kind of video on what base to throw in those kind of circumstances throughout the seasons, let me know in the comments below, and I will gladly make one for you. If you get enough contribution, enough people really want to see that, I will make one for you, no problem. So let's kick it off, and we're going to talk about the winter season first. So the winter season is anything when the water temperature is from 48 degrees and below. So we can, unless you want to go out there and measure with a thermometer what the water temperature is, you basically base it around with the temperature outside. Water temperature is usually a little bit lower than what the temperature is normally in when you just walk outside. So use that as a little base to kind of guess what the water temperature is. So in the winter, we all know that bass go deep. They go deep into the lake, the main bodies, and they can go pretty deep. 50 to 60 feet is not uncommon for bass. So they're deep in those lakes. So you want to avoid those break-offs from your main part of the lake, like the little shallow parts that are usually really good in the summer, which we will get to later. They're not good in the winter. So you want to get deep. You want to look for vertical structure, kind of like submerged trees that are going up and growing out of the water, or rocks and stuff like that, because these bass will really hug tight to those structure. In clear water, they'll be deeper than they would in murky water. And really, you want to throw jerk baits, jigs, spoon baits, blades, and some grub. So those baits are suspending, and they will go a lot vertical, and that will allow you to leave the target in front of the fish. And the fish are more lethargic in the winter, and they don't go as long distance for bait, so you really got to put it right in their face and leave it there for a little bit, because they're not going to chase after it like they would normally. So the next season we have is pre-spawn. So pre-spawn basically is the temperature of the water is anywhere between 48 to 55 degrees. So of course all bass are different, but their instincts really kick into spawning mode once the water temperature hits 50 degrees. So here in Massachusetts, we had that really odd 70 degrees for 4 days. It was 40, 50, 60 degrees, really high temperature. So the fish came up and then they went really deep, so it kind of messed with their heads. So pre-spawn has not taken place in New England yet. But once the water hits this kind of 50 degree range during pre-spawn, the fish are going to start slowly moving up. So they're not in that really 10 foot and below, that really shallow water yet, but they're in between. So make sure when you're fishing, you want to go towards those paths. So those little channels in the dirt, like from erosion, you want to look for like different like channels that they would go to get to shallower water, because that's most likely where they will be. And when you get there, you want to make sure you throw jerk baits, jigs, spinner baits, crank baits, and kind of like maybe a grub. Grub wouldn't be bad either. Very similar to the winter, because there's not a big change in the way that the temperature is, but you just want to pick a different area to target. All right, so now we're into the season where everybody loves it, spawn season, and that's from 55 degrees to 70 degrees. Now, during spawn season, this is when you fish those little channels off of the pond. 10-foot water and below, that's where they're going to be. They like flat areas. The bass only spawn on flat areas. They don't, of course, there's exceptions, but they don't like different leveled areas. They want it to be flat. Now, the fish are also very, very aggressive, and they will go after your baits. So this is when you want to throw those finesse rigs, like Senkos, grubs, jigs, jerk baits, of course, and I think that's about it. That's really what you really want to go for. Those soft plastics are what you want to do, because you want to dangle it in the fish's face, trigger them to come after it, and then reel in that big fish. Alright, so now we're in that real in-between session. So the bass just finished spawning, and they're in that post-spawn stage. Now the post-spawn stage is anywhere from between 70 degrees and 75 degrees. Not a big margin, but you basically want to base that around maybe a few weeks after spawning takes place. So during the post-spawn season, the bass are going to start working their way out of those really, really shallow areas, and they're going to hang around these docks. They're going to hang in the brush. They're going to go in the weeds, in the ground. So they're going to really stay kind of shallow, but they're going to be hiding, tucked under places. And they're going to try to, like, sometimes they'll come up early in the morning, and then later in the afternoon, they're going to hide under those pylons so they can see their prey, and they can also hide from them if they have to. Now, in this scenario, you want to kind of throw the same thing as spawn season. You can throw your soft plastics and all that. But this is really the time of year when top water comes into play. So you can start throwing those top waters, get those crazy blow-ups that every fisherman loves. And you can also throw some jerk baits again, which seems to be a real typical thing you can throw throughout the year. Personally, I don't throw jerk baits. I'm not good at them. Like, it's just not a good thing for me. But jigs are also a big play, because you're coming off those flat areas and going through. Now, you really want to look for these weird, not weird, like differences in the water. So if you see a nice big patch of grass and with some odd spot of just nothing, get your bait in that spot, because it's obvious. The bass are going to see it, they're going to attack it. Now, they're still very aggressive at this point, and it's not hot enough for them to really tuck away and be worried about the heat. So they're going to be near the surface of the water sometimes, because they're just going to be hungry. And we're also going to have a large supply of crawfish. They're going to be plentiful at this time, so bass will be feeding on that. So make sure you use those jigs with those craw trailers. Alright, so now we're on to summer. That's 75 degrees to 90 or more. So here we are. It's starting summer. We're probably out of school, and it's hot, and we have plenty of time to fish. We want to go. So for you kids out there in New England, this is what you got to do. In summer season from fishing, the bass are starting to migrate towards the main part of the lake. They're in that in-between stage as they were in the pre-spawn, or kind of towards the winterish, but they're in between. They're not all the way in the really shallow areas, but they're not in the deep, deep water yet. So if they're in shallow water, they're under a lot of structure. They want to be in the shade because it's hot water. They want to be out of the sun. So they want to be out of the sun, but enough to see some light. So if some bait comes by, they can go after it. So make sure you look after that structure like always, and that's always a good sign if you want to go somewhere. So also, remember when we talked about all those channels and everything towards the spawning areas? You want to go back to those. That's where you're fishing again, because that's where a good amount of the bass are going to be. They're still going to be aggressive, but it depends on the temperature. You don't want to go midday anymore. Midday is going to be in the middle of the heat, and the bass are going to be really tucked away. So you want to go towards the morning when it's the temperature change, you get the mist on the pond, or late at night. Either one of those works fine. So you want to make sure you throw your finesse rigs, your Senkos, your tubes, your jigs. You want to work it normally. I prefer Senko's wacky rigs. If you guys want, I can go through what colors I like in another video. But for today, we're just going to go over what it would be. And you still want to throw your top waters. Top water baits are still going to be a good thing here, especially in the morning and at night. with the temperature change, they're going to come out in the morning, they're going to eat, and they're going to go back and hide. So you don't want to go fishing in the middle of the day anymore. It's not really an option. It's never really a prime option, but you could have gotten away with it before, but now you really can't. So they're really going to start working their way back. They're going to hide under certain structures, and you want to make sure you fish those. Also in the summer, the bass are really going towards those heavily weeded areas, which honestly, in this part of the summer, lakes are really starting to fill up. So your lakes that were good, and everybody has these lakes, they really get full of weeds. As much as it's a pain because you keep hooking weeds, you might want to switch up your tactic. You might want to use maybe a chatterbait because those don't hook much weed. Or hook your bait so it's weedless, Texas rig. Buy special finesse hooks that make things weedless because the fish are going to be in the weeds because they like the high oxygen of water, and they're going to be hiding in there also because it's going to be cool. They're going to be out of the sun. Also, if you guys see the lily pads, the bass are going to be under the pads. That's a huge thing about summer. They love the damn pads. So get maybe a rat, a frog, anything on that top part you can skip by those pads on the brim, right on the edge. That's always great. Cast it far, work it past all those pads, and I guarantee you, in a couple of times, something's gonna come up and get that. The fish are very, very aggressive. If they see something, they go and get it because they're not gonna go far. The heat, they're hiding. They're waiting for some prey to come to them because they're not gonna go chase after it in the dead heat. Come again, if you do throw a topwater, I guess they will come after it, but they're not going to be looking really far because they don't have that huge line of vision because they're trying to stay out of the sun. So now we're in the fall season. That is 75 to 55 degrees. So we're starting to work our way down again towards the winter. So right now in the fall season, this is kind of like how it was winter. They're starting to move back towards the main part of the lake, but the fish are still very, very active because this is very big time season for shad, shiners, those bait fish. Bass heavily feed on them during this time. So make sure you throw a crankbait that has kind of a shad coloring, or in dirty water, you want something to pop. You want something like a blue or a chartreuse or a black or a white. Something that's going to pop in that murky water. Bass will come up. They will move up depending on the water temperature. If it's a hot day, they'll move up. If it's cold, they're going to go really deep. They're very, I don't know how to say it. They're very mobile, I guess you could say. They move a lot. They go from deep to shallow. Depends on the temperature. So they are active. So this is basically a time of year you can throw basically anything. Like you can throw soft plastics, jigs, chatterbaits, blades, spoons, topwater. But topwater's on its way down. There's a short period of time you can throw that in the summer, and you have to throw it then because during this time they're not going to be as aggressive on the topwater. But the main thing you don't want to be in the grass like you were during the last season. Because in the last season, they were in there, but now they're working their way towards the main part of the lake because winter's coming. So they're going to be in between. So once again, those canals, those little channels that lead toward the shallow, and they make that bridge from shallow to deep. You want to fish in there, and you want to make sure it's suspended right above the grass because that's where the shad's going to be. They're going to be right around there. Alright, so guys, that is the 6-season method that I use personally, and I know my cousin taught me how to use it, and that's what I use. I really hope that can help you guys and get to another level. One thing I want to talk about with you guys is this new thing I want to come up with. It's going to be Subscriber Sundays. So on Subscriber Sundays, it's a thing for my Instagram. If you guys don't already know, the link is in my channel. You'll see the Instagram in the tab right in the banner, and you guys just got to click on that, and then it'll bring you right to my channel. I want to start something that is going to be like, you guys send your stuff to me, I want to have a day for you guys, just for you. And I want you guys to send me your catches from that week. I want you to, only from people that are in New England, I want you guys to send me your catches so I can post fish. I'm going to post multiple times a day. I'm going to try and post as many fish as I can without being annoying in a way. Not annoying, but not without spamming your feed. So I want you guys to send me your fish that you catch during that week, or you've caught, not just the week, you've caught in general. So I can post that and I can show you guys, I'll tag you, and it'd be a cool thing for the community, you know what I mean? But I really want that to be a thing. Now, I want to do something for my YouTube as well to interact with you guys, and I want to call this Sit Down Saturdays. Yes, I know I'm doing a sit down right now. It's a Sunday. Oh my god, you're wrong, Brandon, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm doing this now as an afterthought. I just thought of this while I was doing it. Why not make something for a Saturday? So we're going to have a sit-down Saturday where you guys can contribute throughout the week you can comment on videos, tell me topics you want to know. Or if you don't, it's okay. I'll come up with something. I'll contribute my personal things that I feel like we should talk about. And we can have a video each Saturday where I'm going to discuss a topic, or you guys can tell me a topic that you want me to discuss. And we can talk about that, and we can, I feel like that'd be good because sometimes all fishermen, you can always learn. There's not one person in the world that knows every single thing about fishing. Because let's be honest, bass are just weird and they like different things. And you know what? If I can bring something to you guys each day, and more importantly, if you guys can tell me something each time, that's literally what this channel is all about. I feel like that'd be great for us. Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you guys enjoyed everything. I really enjoyed this little sit down with you guys and informing you this, and I hope it really can help you. If you like what you saw today, make sure you drop a like and maybe comment. Tell me what you guys want to see next Saturday on a sit down Saturday, or there's something topic that you want to share. And if I got something wrong, tell me. Let me know. Like if you throw a certain bait during a certain season, tell me so I can know and maybe I'll try it out. Or if there's a certain bait you love, comment, let me know so I can pick it up and then maybe I'll try it out. But honestly, guys, I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, instant fishing content when the weather warms up. And also follow me on Instagram, AnyFishingNation. The link is on my channel page, right in the banner in the bottom right corner. Click on that, I'll bring you right to my page, and you guys can follow me there. And, yeah, I guess that's going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right?